What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, and on the phone, we got Emilio and Mike from Sojourner. Thank you for your time today, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for interviewing us. We appreciate it.
Yep. So, the new album, Premonitions, scheduled to come out May 8th on Napalm Records. Do you guys just want to give like a rundown on how the making of this record was and the recording and all that fun stuff? Who wants to go first?
That'll be my thing. All right.
It was just us doing more of the same sort of thing. We basically had complete freedom from this time. We went to Napalm Records, who gave us complete freedom, like we had complete freedom with Avant-Garde, but Napalm also gave us that same freedom. So we basically did what we did last time and just evolved the sound to a whole new place. It's a lot darker record, I think, but I'm really proud of it personally. I think everyone really stepped it up this time.
Yeah. Do you consider this like picking up just where you left off after The Shattered Road, or do you think that this is like a new start in a way for Sojourner?
I feel like it's definitely on the same trajectory. It's just, I think it's definitely a step up. I think it's taken in a slightly different direction, but it's a direction we all quite happy to go in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've noticed that this record was a little experimental in a way. Like a song like Eulogy for the Lost is very different from like the Apocalyptic Theater, which is different from like Fatal Frame or something like that. Was there like a preconceived idea in how you wanted this record to sound, or was there like a lot of improvising involved?
We've always just written whatever we wanted to hear. We kind of try not to be too constrained by like expectations of a genre or whatever. We just kind of, if it's weird and we want to put it in there, we just chuck it in there. And I think in the end, it's quite experimental, but I think it's turned out pretty nice, pretty cohesively, I hope.
Yeah. When you have like a very, very heavy song like Fatal Frame versus like a very melodic song like Talos or something like that, is that almost like expressing a different side of Sojourner in a way?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and obviously in an instrumental side, but also emotional as well.
Yeah, for sure, because it's like this album was definitely a deeply personal one, musically and lyrically and vocally and everything. So, I mean, that's why, from song to song, the emotions can vary, but I think they all still have like those signature Sojourner aspects, but with the natural evolutions, everything. So it's all still very cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, could like maybe these songs like represent on what you guys were feeling at that specific time? Like, did you try to capture a moment with each song in a way?
100%. I definitely can remember in the studio, like with the first two albums, I definitely thought a lot about, this part here maybe is better with growls, or this part is better with this. But this album, I was just like, because I had a lot going on and stuff, and so I really wanted to capture those emotions. So it was just, I was almost kind of improvising in front of the mic, and then I just, after that, if I liked it, I would just, generally, I pretty much liked everything, and then I would just keep it and expand upon that. But yeah, it is definitely more raw and real. For sure.
Do you find it maybe harder to maintain that moment depending on how long you work on a song? Because sometimes you're working on a song for days and even weeks. Like, do you feel like the best way to capture a moment in a song is like work on it as quick as possible in a way?
I think, at least vocally, now I'm not trying to put my nose in the air here, but like I am very quick usually in my turnovers with songs. Mike will send me a track, and within a day maximum, he has it back with vocals in full. And I've always just kind of been fast, whether it's been a lot of planning into the song and I just know what I'm supposed to do, or if I'm improvising. And it was like no different this time in terms of speed. So I think that actually worked good in capturing the emotions, because in those moments when you're just feeling something and you just like let it rip, it was quite quick.
Yeah. Could like a lyrical concept or a subject matter help determine the outcome of the music itself in a way?
We usually do it the other way around. We usually go music and vocals.
Oh, really?
There's a couple cases where it's gone the other way around, but generally, it's music first and lyrics, right, vocals.
Okay, because you mentioned like there's a lot of like personal elements into this record as well, so I thought that maybe like that you approach like the band with like maybe a concept, and maybe they can write music that they get from your sort of lyrical ideas?
Well, I mean, we definitely did have in mind that this album was going to be darker, even like before, everybody's lives was a bit, like weird. So we definitely did know that this album was going to kind of evolve that way, and then I guess coincidentally everything just happened to everybody, so it turned out that way even more so. So yeah, but since the music was going to kind of be that way, yes, basically let's call it, well, not really a happy coincidence, but a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. I see, like, I was very impressed also with the technical excellence on here, like with the guitar solo and stuff. Do you guys have like a background in music theory or something like that? Like, do you know like what chord progression or what scales you're working off of, or are you guys all self-taught and the work is rather improvised?
We're all pretty self-taught. Like, we all have like semi-formal kind of musical training, but not in a higher level. We all basically just, kind of go on instinct and feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd imagine because you have so many elements. Like I saw elements of like melodic death metal on here, symphonic metal, like some power and stuff. It has to be easy to try new things, right? Depending on like, it just has to be fairly easy to try new things when writing new music, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got, like, between the two of us that write, me and Chloe, we've got such a wide variety of stuff we listen to and enjoy. So it's kind of just like we do whatever we need to do at the time, really.
Mm-hmm. When you look back at like the catalog of Sojourner, like when you compare Premonitions to like Empires of Ash or The Shattered Road or something like that, is it almost kind of like representative of who you guys are at that particular time? Is there like a self-portrait aspect behind it?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Now, is the music also open to interpretation, or do you try to maybe engage the listener into seeing things from your point of view?
Musically, I think, like you were talking about emotions tied to the songs before, it's like when we're writing the songs, obviously they mean a certain thing to us, and then Emilio adds a whole other dimension, so it's kind of multi-layered, and I guess it means different things to whoever is involved at the time or listening at the time. So it's kind of nice to have that ambiguity.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this true that like most of the members come from different areas all over the world? Like, you have members in New Zealand, you have members in Sweden, and everywhere else?
Yeah. Yeah, we have our drummer from Italy, Mike and Chloe, and Mike Wilson, originally from New Zealand, but like Mike lives in Sweden now. I'm American, but I live in Sweden now. Our Scotty, our bassist, is Scottish. Yeah, pretty much we're spread out, but like the main, the countries are basically Scotland, Italy, Sweden, and New Zealand.
Yeah. How do you guys practice? Let's just get that question out of the way first.
We don't.
We usually get one or 2 days before a show, max.
Yeah, and sometimes we can't even do that. Like, for example, when we did our European tour, there was no rehearsal before it. But, I mean, I always kind of say that I feel lucky that I'm in a band with people that know how to play their instrument. And, of course, sometimes you have mistakes on stage or whatever, but you just breeze past that and just keep having fun. And, yeah, I'm lucky that, these guys can actually play their instruments and everything's fine. Even if we don't maybe get to have a rehearsal.
More often than not, we do touch down and literally get on stage later that day or the next day. So
that's pretty brave of you guys, I gotta say.
Cheers. I mean, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing to have, but I mean, we make it work, luckily. Like Emilio said, the odd mistake, I mean, yeah, but we work what we can.
Yeah. Does maybe coming from different regions of the world, like, maybe also influence your music in a way as well?
I think so, yeah. Musically, definitely we take influence from lots of places, but yeah, I think ultimately we're all fans of the same sort of metal and music generally, so I think more comes from that than the places we're from. I think the places we're from were just a coincidence in the end. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to playing your material live, is there maybe a similar energy that you channel into your live presence as you do when you're creating music, or is songwriting and playing live a completely separate art altogether?
So, you go first, Emilio.
I would say that, from a vocal standpoint, for example, of course, in the studio, things happen a certain way and you do certain things. But for me, live, I do things quite differently. Maybe I'm just in a different mindset at that point, and maybe more aggression, let's say, comes out. Yeah, I would say that the two are definitely different. Just because live, you could be in any kind of headspace, and you bring that out. Whereas maybe in the studio, you had it a certain way. Yeah, it would definitely be different for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and musically, like you said, you're working on something for so long that when you're on stage, it's a bit of a different situation from sitting down in the studio tracking layers. So definitely more aggression and a little bit more loose live, which is kind of quite a nice thing to have.
Mm-hmm. And the final question I wanted to ask you, and the most difficult question, and I want you both to elaborate on this. How do you know when a song is done?
Oof.
Musically, just you hit that point and it's just like, this is done. I could keep I don't know, it's just a feeling. You just know that you could keep polishing it, but you're either going to mess it up more or you're going to just add stuff that doesn't need to be there. So you get to a point, you're like, the song needs to be done. I'm going to send this to Emilio to put vocals on.
Yeah, when it comes to vocals and lyrics as well, I have to agree there, because there's times where, I'm just like writing stuff and I'm like, oh, this is shit, I need to like do this again. But then there's other times where maybe it's not like super, metaphorical, or because I'm usually quite metaphorical and abstract in my lyrics, but at the same time, it's like there's moments where it's just like, okay, this put a smile on my face, or I'm happy. Let's just end it. And then the same thing when you're recording vocals, you could be like, oh, let's put a layer or like a backing mid here or whatever, but you just have that feeling of like, okay, I'm content with this. Let's just stop here.
Yeah, especially because like the songs vary so much in song. Like Fatal Frame is 8.5 minutes long, but then you have a song like The Monolith that's 6 minutes long, and then like you have a song like The Apocalyptic Theater that's 6.5. Like I was always curious. So at what point do you just say we don't need to add anything more?
Yeah, I mean, songwriting wise, like you said, Fatal Frame's 8.5 minutes, but I went into that song intending it to be one of the shorter, more to the point songs on the album. So it can blow way out, It can just really get out of hand.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to thank you guys so much for your time today. Is there just anything, I know things are kind of difficult right now with everything going on, but like, is there just anything with Sojourner that you guys would like to promote?
Well, our album. I mean, we got an album dropping in a month, and, we put a lot of time and effort and a lot of, feelings, and we just put everything we had into it. So definitely, we'd like people to check it out, and we have 2 singles so far, The Deluge and Fatal Frame. It's already dropped, and yeah, just thank everybody for the support, and we hope to be out on the road soon enough, when all this clears up, and just be able to, have fun, good times, and hopefully see everybody out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much, everybody. We are here with Sojourner, Premonitions, out May 8th on Napalm Records. Be sure to pick that up. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.